Have you ever wondered why you know what's right but still struggle to do it? Why does discipline feel strong in the morning but weak when pressure, emotion, or temptation shows up? Here is the promise of this message. By the end of this video, you'll realize that self-control is not something you force in the moment. It's something you quietly build through habits Scripture has been teaching for centuries. These habits don't just change behavior, they reshape the heart. Let's begin with this habit. Habit 1. Reverence before action. Proverbs 16:32. Better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. Self-control begins when a person learns to pause before reacting. Reverence for God creates space between emotion and action. That pause is where wisdom lives. Picture this. Daniel, a project manager, received a harsh email from his supervisor late one Friday afternoon. His first instinct was to defend himself and reply immediately. Instead, he closed his laptop, prayed briefly, and decided to wait until Monday. Over the weekend, his emotions settled and his thoughts became clearer. On Monday, he responded calmly, which led to a constructive conversation rather than conflict. Immediate reactions often create long-term damage. Self-control protects relationships before words cause harm. Pausing is not a weakness, it is wisdom. Habit 2. Guarding the mind daily. Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. What enters the mind eventually shapes behavior. Self-control weakens when the heart is filled with constant noise, comparison, and negativity. Discipline begins with what you allow yourself to dwell on. I'm aged this. Maria noticed she was constantly anxious and irritable after scrolling social media every morning. She compared her life to others and felt behind before the day even started. One week, she replaced scrolling with reading Proverbs for 10 minutes. Slowly, her thoughts became calmer and more focused. Her reactions during stressful moments noticeably improved. The mind must be trained before the moment of temptation arrives. A guarded heart produces disciplined reactions. What you feed your thoughts will eventually control your actions. Habit 3. Choosing patience over urgency. Proverbs 19:11. A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Self-control grows when we stop treating emotions as commands. Patience allows wisdom to catch up with feeling. Urgency often leads to regret. James was criticized publicly by a coworker during a team meeting. His chest tightened and he felt embarrassed and angry. He wanted to speak up immediately and prove himself. Instead, he stayed quiet and reflected after the meeting. Later that day, his supervisor privately apologized and corrected the situation. Not every offense requires a response. Patience preserves dignity and peace. Self-control often looks like silence. If you've ever struggled with impulsive reactions or emotional decisions, you're not alone. Hit like if this message resonates with you. Share this with someone who needs wisdom. Subscribe to Wisdom Thought Tone and ring the notification bell for more Proverbs-based reflections. Let's continue. Habit 4. Accepting correction humbly. Proverbs 12:1. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge. Correction reveals areas where self-control can grow. Pride resists instruction, but humility welcomes it. Growth begins where defensiveness ends. Take this example. Angela received feedback from her mentor about her leadership style. At first, she felt misunderstood and discouraged. Instead of arguing, she listened and took notes. Over the next few months, she adjusted how she communicated with her team. Productivity and trust improved significantly. Correction is not rejection. It is guidance meant to protect your future. Self-control listens before responding. Restraining the tongue. Proverbs 21:23. Those who guard their mouths keep themselves from calamity. Words spoken without control often create damage that cannot be undone. Silence can be an act of wisdom. Self-control chooses restraint over expression. Visualize this scenario. Kevin was upset during a family gathering when an old issue was brought up. He felt tempted to bring up past mistakes to defend himself. Instead, he chose not to speak and changed the subject. The conversation cooled down instead of escalating. Later, peace was preserved rather than broken. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Controlled speech prevents unnecessary conflict. Wisdom knows when to be quiet. Habit 6. Learning to wait on God. Proverbs 20:22. Wait for the Lord, and He will act. Waiting trains the soul in restraint. Impatience often leads to forced outcomes. Trust strengthens self-control. Let's press him. Samuel felt wronged by a close friend who spread false information about him. He wanted to confront the issue immediately and expose the truth publicly. Instead, he prayed and waited. Over time, the truth surfaced naturally. The relationship was restored without confrontation. Waiting protects you from acting in anger. God often resolves what self-control restrains. Trust replaces impulse. Habit 7. Surrendering understanding. Proverbs 3:5. 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Self-control collapses when we insist on our own way. Surrender aligns desire with wisdom. Trust removes the need to rush. Assuming, Rachel faced a major career decision that promised quick success. Something felt uncertain, but the opportunity looked perfect. She prayed and chose to wait instead of deciding immediately. Months later, the position was exposed as unstable. Her patience saved her from unnecessary stress. Self-control is strengthened by trust. Surrender brings clarity. God-directed decisions protect long-term peace. Self-control is not about controlling everything around you. It is about mastering what happens within you. Biblical self-control grows quietly through daily habits of reverence, patience, and trust. When discipline becomes a way of life, temptation loses its power. True self-control is not forced, it is formed. So here's the final question. Which of these 7 habits will you begin practicing today? And if this message relates to you deeply, I invite you to watch another video connected to this one about what makes you so angry and how to stay calm in difficult. Uncover the secret power of self-control and mastering patience, the secret to growth, peace, and better decisions. If you experienced those right now, that message may be exactly what you need today. You'll find the link in the description. Reflect on that. And remember, wisdom isn't loud. It's steady. Stay wise. Stay disciplined. And stay grounded in God's truth.